Welcome to our 45th episode. We're a little bit delayed because the pre-show went into overtime.
We're gonna have to start selling tickets for the pre-show.
yes, yes. We at some point we just say we gotta get going. So we're gonna wait for our friends to get on here. I know it's gonna be. We have lots and lots to talk about. Mike couldn't. We're gonna go after the seating meeting on what Tuesday, Wednesday. I'm all messed up on my days. It's Christmas break, and
Yeah.
Mike's the girls won the championship, so you guys had to go celebrate.
Yeah. The head coach of Noemi's team, her brother got married in Pittsburgh, so she was out of town. So I stepped in and coached the team to a championship, and then we went out to celebrate. And then last night, OC's team, we had a four-team single elimination, lost in the championship game. Bad coaching on my part.
Jeez, fire the coach.
Yeah, I know. I've been kicking myself all day. It's been a sad day.
Black Friday in the NFL is coming up, or Black Monday or whatever they call it. So
Yeah,
maybe you can get promoted and be an NFL coach.
maybe. Man. Yeah. So we were there late last night. I think we were there till 11 playing. So luckily the girls are on Christmas break still. Do we call it Christmas break or winter break?
Christmas break.
That's what I call it.
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, we still got. They go. My kids go back on Thursday, so they just got back from Chicago. So,
yeah. Our kids are going back on Thursday too. I feel like, are they gonna get anything done Thursday and Friday?
no. They're gonna be half awake. I know. And tomorrow's gonna be a rough night. That's all I know. Tomorrow's gonna be rough.
Sneak some melatonin gummies in there, man.
Yeah. So lots of wrestling to talk about.
Yeah, a lot of good wrestling.
Yeah, it's we were both at the Al Smith, north of Montgomery. You had the Cub Classic. You had Mooresville, women's and men's. You had the Spartan Classic. Hey, we have brackets from the Spartan Classic.
I know. I was watching the live updates. Yeah. Exciting.
Yeah, I was like, whoa, this is cool. You can go watch and see who's winning, and Mater Day, they're a pretty solid tournament. I think it kind of gets a little bit overshadowed by the other ones, but there's some good teams, and especially when you're throwing in like a Perry and a Roncalli down there.
Oh, you had the Rainey brothers in there?
Yeah, you throw the Rainey brothers in there. They're pretty good. I saw Schaefer had a real good close match with the one Rainey brother, which is...
Yeah, I think they said they put him to his back. Exciting, man. A lot of exciting wrestling. We were obviously up in the Great White North.
Yes. Yeah, for the first time in about 20 years, it didn't blizzard on the way to the Al Smith. Thankfully, I didn't have to drive a minibus, so I could drive my own vehicle, and if you saw me there, I had the brains of the organization. Rocco was there.
the real star of opening baseball cards.
Yes, he was so good. We got some cards and ended up selling one of them tonight for a little bit of money. So hey, that's
nice.
That's how we fund our hobby, our addiction, I guess. So what do we want to go over first? Do you want to go over a little bit of the events, I guess? Which one do you want to go over first? I have Mater Day pulled up, so we can go over Mater Day, I guess.
Weird, I got Mater Day pulled up too.
Good. Great minds think alike. I think Union County, which is kind of surprising. I didn't know how good of a team they had. They won by 27 points, which I know they have the Rainey brothers, but they also have some good kids. They had two champs, the Rainey brothers, and then a couple other runner-ups. So you never know exactly how good some of those teams are that have some superstars like the Raineys. So,
yeah.
They're only freshmen, so that's nice. You're going to see them for another 12 years, it seems like.
Yeah. Mater Day's won that a good amount, right? Mater Day's kind of dominate that tournament.
Yeah, they probably won 9 to 10 years usually, so it's pretty impressive that Union County comes in there and beats one of our better teams in the state. So, Rio over Campbell in the finals at 6.
I think that weight overall was really good. The Perry Meridian kid, he's wrestling tough. Shutley got a good win. I think he had a good win over
He's
he beat someone real early. Was it Tell City kid? Like right off the bat.
Shotley
Yeah,
beat.
Ty Henderson, Vincenz Lincoln.
Oh yeah,
6 was a real solid weight there.
yeah, and you got Jude Houston, who's pretty tough. He finished 8th or 6th, and so that's pretty good weight class top to bottom. Rio over Campbell in the finals. Campbell's had some pretty good wins. He beat
First loss for Campbell.
Yeah, he beat Meyer a couple weeks ago. 13 Luke Rio over Jackson Houston. He also had Walter Hagedorn and Stillwagon. He just got added to the database today. So Blake Gatson there was a qualifier. He didn't even place. Wow. He lost to Union County kid. Not in the. They only placed 6, but so that's pretty good. Another pretty good weight class there too.
Yeah.
120 Rainey over Schaefer 8-5, which that's a solid result there.
Oh yeah.
I mean Rainey, that's the one that was
guy.
Yeah. I mean he's a nationally ranked guy. Schaefer over Gilbert in the semis too, so that's a big win for him. That's gonna. Gilbert had another. He lost to somebody else earlier this year, didn't he?
Yeah, he lost to Houston.
That's gonna be real. Is Houston goes out of Mooresville, right?
Yeah, he'll be at 13 though. But I mean that 120 is nasty, man. 120 is nasty out there because you figure you're gonna have Hockaday, Quentin Chef's wrestling well. Depending on where McFeely will be at, you're gonna have Eddie Goss. Like Evansville's tough, man. Overall, it's just really, really good.
Yeah, that's gonna be some interesting take around matches there. 26, the other Rainey over Evan Sang. Sang over Billerman. Billerman was up to 26. I'm assuming, if it's, I'm gonna assume he's probably staying up. I don't know if you've heard anything differently.
I only go by Howie's rankings that were out this week, and he still has him at 20. Obviously, Howie has a pretty good connection with that program.
Yeah,
it'd be interesting. I believe he's wrestled some 20 this year. Incredibly tough. I mean, he's in the mix at all those weights. That Sang match, I heard it was close, 1-0.
Yeah. So,
Don't get much closer than that.
Nope. Yeah. So Billerman wrestled 20 for at least the first weekend of the year, so he has the scratch weigh-in. So maybe they're, maybe 120 out of there would have probably. I mean, some tough kids there. I don't know. I mean, you never know.
He ended up defaulting out, right? Like he didn't finish the tournament.
Yeah.
120 there. Yeah, you would seen the other Rainey.
Yeah.
Chase Stevens wrestling real well. Kissinger's tough.
Yeah. 32 Keaton Morton won over Corey Hammock.
I think that was a not like a huge upset. Both those guys ranked pretty well. I think I was shocked there.
Uh-oh. You there? Froze up. Uh-oh. Technical difficulties. Let's see. Hopefully he comes back. And we are having technical difficulties. Let me try calling him back. Oops. Of course, perfect timing. We're having intermission. You there?
Cheat me out the internet, man.
Did the internet stop on you?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought it was me. I was like, whoa.
Nah, kick me off. You got caught on my neighbor's internet. They must not.
Okay. So back on 132, Morton, pretty solid weight. That's, it's a pretty good weight class overall. I mean, a lot of good weight classes. Syra over Bannett. Landon Horning. Some good guys there. Pay your bill. 38. Chef over Kelby Glenn. Chef pretty dominant there. Nothing else. Was it Tyler Vanover? Finished third for Modern Day. Geez, that's a weird bracket. And no one from... Who's Beanie from Trinity? That was an all Kentucky final. We're not very good at 45. Lowry, pretty dominant over Hunter May in the finals.
Lowry wrestling a little good right now, too.
Yeah. Did he wrestle May at state last year? I want to think that. Yeah, Lowry pinned him last year at state. So.
Yeah, Lowry's killing people right now, man. He's wrestling really, really well.
Yeah. Huckabee over Ricketts at 160. Huckabee had quite a few losses last year. It was a little bit less this year, but always one that you can't really look at the losses because he'll be ready at the end of the season. 170. All Kentucky final, 82. Kentucky. Man, Kentucky has some good wrestling.
Yeah.
Hansen over Kentucky. He beat Jalen Young in the semis. Luke Hansen
wrestling well.
Yeah.
He said he was running the football real well. They said Cody Glithero wrestled Hunter May last year. That makes sense. He was at 52.
Yeah. Who did I just see that he... Yeah. Who did I just see that he wrestled then? I saw he pinned somebody. Oh, Clark. Why was I thinking... I was looking at Bryce's name. Yeah. Trying to figure out who he did. 190 or 220. Clay Martin from Modern Day wins it there. So it's interesting to see these Modern Day kids actually starting to get in shape and start to.
Dang, why do you say it like that?
I mean, because they were late.
State champions in football. I get it.
Yeah. So Kelton Farmer is it? Yeah, won it at heavyweight. So. He's been to state once before, so that should, pretty good weight classes overall and pretty good tournament, especially when you mix in some solid Kentucky teams there.
Yeah, I think the mix of Indiana teams in there are really good. Obviously, Ron Cowley is really good. Perry's really good. They're going to be at the team state. Floyd Central's at team state. So, Avon, I think Avon's a sleeper team. I think they're getting really good. I think they're about to be really good also. They're getting a lot of guys. If you go on the youth board, you see a lot of their guys getting a lot of younger guys coming in. So it starts with the Rios and the Chefs and kind of goes from there. Cyra's really good.
Yeah. Mooresville. Let's talk about Mooresville.
Yeah, Mooresville was kind of like off a day, right? Everyone else was like the same days except for Mooresville started early.
Yeah, they were.
And the ECIC.
Yeah, ECIC was Wednesday. And then everyone else was and Mooresville was Wednesday, Thursday, and then everyone else was Thursday, Friday. Yeah, so it's like, oh, geez, Mooresville's going on, and you're trying to follow that, but also try to do other things. So very busy. Bollinger over Ash in the finals at 106.
Bollinger wrestling really, really good. I know there's a lot of people talking about, Horn and Dickman and which one should be number one. I think Bollinger has as much of a argument to be a number one right now as anybody.
Yeah. He tech-falled he pinned his first two guys because he was being nice, I guess, and then tech-falled everyone else. And Ash is no slouch either. So
Ash is really good.
Yeah, that was his first loss too. You get your first loss, you get tech-falled.
Bollinger's wrestling well. We were kind of talking about it off air a little bit. Fort Wayne is incredibly tough at 106.
Yeah, yes it is.
And we'll talk more about that as it goes on because I think they've had some other champs that won big tournaments. But man, Bollinger's wrestling really, really well.
Yeah, that's going to be interesting come, semi-state time because everyone's coming out of the different regionals and there might be a couple guys. It's pretty deep weight class overall in Fort Wayne. So 113, Isaac Ash over Aiden Dallinger from McCutcheon.
By major.
Yeah. Dowlinger has some pretty solid wins this year too.
Yeah, he won the Harvest Classic, beating Eshawn Tolbert and Seth Aubin.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, I remember seeing his name in for seeding and stuff. Neil Mosier over Peter Nguyen. And then Logan Bickel was he dropped down to 5th. So
yeah. Jaden Osley from Koyon Central, 13-1 sophomore. I think he wrestled really well that tournament.
Yeah, he lost to Nick Anderson, and then came back and ended up placing higher than Anderson. So
you know what Carl Hungus used to always say, Koyon Central, the old state capital of Indiana.
Yeah, that's the old Capital Classics this weekend.
Yeah, when he used to talk about Bailey LaHue.
Yes. Speaking of Corey Don, Zane Streck lost to Caleb Mattingly. Is it Caleb, right?
Yeah.
That was a 3-0 match. And
that was a good weight.
Yeah. Is that Northview? Seth Cowden? Right?
Yeah.
Okay, that's what I kind of thought. Some of these teams, I'm not sure their abbreviations. So yeah, another pretty solid weight.
Keith Parker lost to Braden McMillan, came back and ended up taking 3rd. Keith Parker wrestling well too. I thought he had a really good match with Billerman at the county.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Gage Clark. I think all those guys are a watch list.
Yeah, I know Parker. I think I just added a bunch of Ben Davis guys for the semi-state rankings. All the semi-states are updated, so check those out.
Let's go. We're trying to get these state rankings done. It's a meticulous job.
Yes. 130.
Not gonna lie, there's a lot of results to go through.
Yes. 132. Isaac Ward over Lane Kirshner from Jennings County. Pretty dominant.
I think that's a better weight for Isaac Ward.
Mm-hmm.
I know he's been up at 38 a little bit, but I think he'll be in the mix at 32.
Going down, Michael Major, 2-0 win over Branson Weaver from Owen Valley. So that, Owen Valley will be at Team State this weekend. So that's, and Weaver beat Trevor Hott from Martinsville in overtime. So is that
Christopher Bond in there too? Little region love.
Yeah, it's 2-0 there. I didn't realize Munster was there.
I think it's their first year, Christopher Bone.
Yeah. So yeah, we had a good article on Bone. So that was pretty good. Pretty good weight class there with Hott, Major, Bone. Don't choose that by not the right things to say. Going down, you had Triple B trained Braden Spears out of the 4 seed over Cash Turner, 15-8. That's pretty impressive. Turner's
what was he? He was losing to Lee Spencer, not Spencer Lee, who was slightly discourteous to his teammate this weekend at Sleepy Soldiers.
Yes.
But I think he had a comfort behind pin and then ran it to the finals. So that's a good weight right there.
Yeah.
Spears, Sabay, Cash, Luke Roberts was up at 52 ranked. Colton Ramos was ranked. It was in the rankings. That's a real solid weight class.
Yeah, Ramos came in with one loss. One loss and ends up as a 7 seed. Jeez. Poor seeding there. They need to call the seeding crew. Send the bat signal. 52. Trevor Gallagher from Carmel having a real good season. First year varsity over Zach Lang. Saw him kind of come on at Westfield. I'm like, he had a lot of pretty good results and having a pretty good season. Beat Cabe Stevens, who's pretty solid for Delta, who's had some solid wins. So, and then obviously Zach Lang from Hamilton Southeastern. So, yeah, he's kind of one of those under the radar, guys from Carmel that are gonna make a run later in the season.
Man, yeah, they just turn those guys out, man. Just a bunch of solid guys, just solid team overall.
60, Luke Kemper over Michael Hutchison, 5'2". You had,
man, I feel like Luke Kemper has been 160 for about 6 years.
Probably about the same number of years Lane Gilbert's been at 120.
I know, man. I feel like Luke Kemper. I started him at 82. I'm like, there's no way that he's gonna be at 60 again, and there he is at 160. That's a good matchup. Hutchinson Kemper. That's a real good match. Hutchinson. Who's it? I mean, it could be a semi-state match,
Mm-hmm.
depending on the draws. I have to look at who's coming out of the Mooresville semi-state to feed into Evansville semi-state.
Yes.
It's Hutchinson, but that could be a pretty good one.
Yeah. 170. Was it Zach Wagner? Yes, over Braxton Russell from Delta. Wagner beat. Oh, there's Tyler Lee lost to Sumner from who is Who's the
from the fighting
Martinsville?
Bracket Onions.
Yes.
Probably lifting a lot of weights.
Yes. Yeah, Martinsville. Sumner had a big win over Tyler Lee, and then Russell was a returning state qualifier, so that's a good win for Wagner. 182. Leclerc from Plainfield over Alex Ramsey from Ben Davis.
Ben Davis.
The BDH threw me for a loop.
Yeah, when I was looking at it, I was like, Bishop.
Yeah.
I was like,
Dwenger used to go there.
Yeah.
Dwenger went there for a few years, I think. I'm pretty positive they did until they had to go for conference stuff. 195 John Purdy over Reed Schrader. 5-2.
That's a good match.
Yeah. So Southridge goes to
Evansville also.
Yeah, dude, they're not in the same. Southridge will go to like Bloomington North, South, or won't they?
My regional game isn't as strong down south.
That's it.
I know the Mooresville guys. I'm assuming if you're in Evansville, you go to the Evansville Mater Dei one or the Castle, and then I know the region pretty well.
Yeah, so they go. Southridge goes to Bloomington, South. I always get whether I know North hosts a sectional and South does the regional. So so they'll have Bloomington North and South, and Floyd Central, Owen Valley, Terre Haute, both Hautes and West Vigo. So Tell City's there too. So pretty solid regional there.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, you have to run into the Mooresville.
Mooresville's tough, man. I think Evansville. I know people like to think I'm giving it a hard time, but man, it's a tough semi-state. I think I have to look at it sometimes and be like, man, I don't know if I can rank 6 guys coming out of Mooresville.
Yeah,
it's tough.
Yeah. So 220 Eli Hinshaw from Owen Valley over Alex Rose from Terre Haute South.
I thought that was a deep weight too. I thought that weight was really good.
Yeah.
With Jackson New and then Cole Chacon from McCutcheon, 22-2.
Yeah. Walker Van Ness from Cascade. Jackson New. He's one that gets ranked. He always has a lot of rankable or significant matches. Some good, some bad. He's the one that's probably one of the hardest ones to rank in the state, I think.
Yeah, it's not easy.
He's 13-6. Lost to Hinshaw, lost to Hinshaw in the second round. Ran all the way back for third in a pretty deep weight class. That's pretty impressive. 285 Dom Burgett over Jack Milligan, he's another one that probably it seemed like he has wrestled for about 7 or 8 years.
I feel like they had another Jack that had an M last name, right?
Yes, I'm pretty positive. About 3 or 4 years ago, they had I think Ed only allows his heavyweights to be named Jack. They probably, part of their contract when they, if they're going to wrestle heavyweight, they got to get their name changed to Jack.
That's a good match though. Those are 2 pretty highly ranked guys.
Yeah. So
I know Burgett. Burgett's been really good. I know he's won a lot of the off-season stuff.
Yeah, and Carmel over Delta. Carmel pretty dominant.
A little rivalry, Cody versus Ed.
Yep.
Cody's got staff there.
Yeah. Terre Haute South was third. Hamilton Southeastern and Owen Valley. A lot of teams you'll see at Team State: Carmel, Delta, Terre Haute South, Owen Valley, Cascade. Southridge is not there, are they? No, they're not. I don't think they are. Some good teams there that are pretty solid. We'll do a quick rundown of the Spartan.
Defiance Border Wars.
No.
Joey Butler, O-Dub.
Yeah, Joey Butler. We can go over.
I mean, there was actually a lot of Indiana teams there when I was looking at it. I think East Central's there, right?
Was East Central
DeKalb,
there?
Drew Walden won it.
Yeah, DeKalb was there. I don't know if
East Side.
yeah, East Side was there. Um, yeah, Tanner Reed from Columbia City's there. There's a lot of teams from like over here. Leo was there.
Joey Butler, Tech fall in the finals. OW, that's pretty impressive. No, East Central wasn't there. There was something else.
You're thinking of East Side. East Central was at the Dustin Benz Madison Classic.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Are they hosted the Iron Bear?
Yes, yeah. It's not the Iron Man, it's the Iron Bear. So yeah, Joy Butler won Defiance. I know Tanner Reed won at he's all screwed up weights. Tanner Reed won 165 at.
Those are gonna be our weights next year, right?
Yes, those will be our weights, which they are what they are. I think weights are weights. I don't think those are going to make a difference in whether guys are good or bad at wrestling. So
a couple of teams snuck into Ohio because Brownsburg was out at Brecksville, the oldest. What do they say? It's the oldest holiday tournament in the country.
Yeah, that one's been going. Yeah.
How do you know that?
You just say it, and then if you say it enough, it becomes true, right?
I think so.
That's the New Haven, the Bill Kerbal. I know Barry Humble would always say it's the longest running individual tournament in the state, and I mean, who's gonna question you?
Yeah, how do we know that for sure? Revan Dickman, runner up. Preston Haynes, 8th placer. Hockaday did not compete, right?
No, he did not. Yeah, Landon Haynes was 8th. Preston was 8th. They had to keep it equal. Ison won it. Had a pretty good win in the finals. Or actually in the semifinals. That Homan kid's pretty tough. I don't know. Did he wrestle? Someone wrestled Homan at Iron Man. Because I remember that name from IPO. He wrestled at IPO and he was like he's pretty good, I think, freshman. He's like a middle school state champ or even a state placer.
And the middle school state in Ohio is like every middle school competes in it, right? It's not like an open.
Yeah, correct. Yeah, and they have qualifiers and stuff. Parker Reynolds lost to Justin Gates and Hunter Vogus. Vogus is pretty tough. Vogus might be that freshman. Someone wrestled either Homan or Vogus, or maybe both at Iron Man.
Parker Reynolds beat Ashton Homan at Iron Man 5-0.
Who did?
Parker Reynolds.
Okay.
Who were we looking? What was another one?
Vogus. So it was Homan that they wrestled. I just remember Vogus was either one or both of those guys wrestled at IPO. I just remember putting their name on the list. Mason Day, went 3-2, which is not too bad there. I assume that's blood round. And for a guy that's first year in the lineup, that's pretty solid. Let's see, Tyler Jones, Caden Brewer was 8th. Gunnar Henry was 8th.
It's a tough tournament, man.
Yeah, and then Leighton Jones was second to Faulkner from Maslin Perry. Faulkner's pretty tough. He was an IPO champ. Just to throw that out there.
Yeah, Brownsburg not taking any weekends off, man.
No.
They went Iron Man, Carnahan, Brecksville, Team State.
Yeah.
I'm sure there are counties in there.
Yeah, their conference will be next weekend. That'll be kind of an off weekend because they're not. Yeah, I don't know what are they going to do when they don't have to travel, 4 hours to an event.
Same thing with Crown Point, and we'll talk about it a little bit more at when we talk about Al Smith. But man, like they're not taking a lot of weekends off either. It's weird, man. Like we were talking about it a little bit after Al Smith. Like they're wrestling a lot in Ohio. They've only had like 2 Indiana tournaments, right?
Yeah.
Team State and they'll have their conference. And do they compete in their county?
They don't. No, they don't. I don't think they have a county championship, but they'll have their conference. And yeah, they don't. It's interesting that they don't compete in Indiana very much. They're in Ohio 3 weekends. They go to Ohio 3 weekends. They'll have an opening next year. So I don't know where they're. I know they've been hinting at trying to stay in state, but who knows where they'll go.
Yeah.
And I guess it depends because they won't be able to go to Ohio. It's that first weekend that they wrestle. Ohio's starting a week later, so the Ironman week is the first week of the Ohio tournaments. So I don't think Michigan has started that, or they might have. So it'll be interesting to see where they go. I know they've been looking in Indiana, which it would be cool to see them in Indiana. So that
I know. Talking with Kyle a little bit, I think they were trying to get Kyle to come home. Maybe, go to the Harvest Classic, retire a singlet in the house that Air's been built. It'd be interesting. I think that'd be good. I mean, obviously they're really good, and I think anytime you can get a good team to come to an event like that, it's always good to challenge yourself. But I always think it's cool. Like you can get those guys that come back. Like Airsman's obviously from there. Like I would like to see maybe Delta, Russell Perry. Obviously Cody competed there. Mm-hmm. Maybe Ed come back and wrestle at the Tom Cameron.
Yeah, relive the great Portage Maryville friendlies, as they probably called them back then.
Ed's from Maryville. Ed wrestled at Maryville.
Okay. Yeah.
Under the great Tom Cameron.
Nice. That'd be...
I believe. I don't know this. I don't know if the second part's as true as the first part.
Yeah, we'll just
the first part's true. The second part, I'm not as sure.
Much like the New Haven Bill Kerbal is the longest running tournament in the country. We'll just run with it. No one can dispute it, right?
I think. What was Ed? Class of 1989.
Oh, jeez. No.
I think he was 89. I think Tom Cameron was still there. I think it went Tom Cameron. I think Joel was there. Mark Rosenbaum was there. But I think Ed and Mark Rosenbaum were the same age.
Did he? Let's see.
And
yeah, I don't know. What's that?
Randy Coliza and David Maldonado.
Nice. Yeah. But Brett Smith's inviting Brownsburg to wrestle in the barn at the neck duels. So maybe they'll just say screw, Lake Central, and they'll go over the neck duels. So yeah.
That'd be exciting.
Yeah. No, the neck is decided tomorrow night. And Garrett, you got the 3 7-0 teams. You got Angola, Garrett, and Prairie Heights all undefeated. They all wrestle each other. So the neck championship is going to.
I'm sure we'll talk about it. Obviously, we were both at Al Smith. I was impressed by the twins. I thought they wrestled real well. Are they twins?
Yes, I believe so. Yeah.
They look alike. But me and my brother look alike. We're not twins.
One of them's dating one of my former neighbors, so I had to give her a hard time. So. So, anyway, back to brackets. The Spartan Classic on Track Wrestling for the first time. And they had streaming. So, I haven't even watched any of the matches.
I haven't watched any of the matches either. I'm going to go back and watch.
Yeah, I watched some Heather Kroll matches. And we'll mention it when we go to talk about Al Smith. 2 girls won the two classic holiday tournaments, which is pretty. One of them winning isn't pretty impressive, but 2 winning, that's pretty cool to see and kind of hear. We were there obviously for the Al Smith. Kroll won in a pretty solid weight class.
Really solid weight. I think top 4 there are really good.
Yeah, beating Gunner Butt, and then you had Jet McGuire and Keelan Fuller there. Where did Fuller drop? Fuller lost to McGuire in overtime, and then 7-6. So those were his only 2 losses. Finished
Jet McGuire coming down from 13. I think that's a strong move for Greenfield Central heading into the team state.
Yeah. 113. Cole Vandegrift over... Who's that? Carson Collier.
Charlestown.
Yeah.
Lincoln Parsons, Greenfield Central in there.
Yeah, Parsons pretty solid. It's always, I think it was a little bit seeded, but not totally. So because you kind of see guys were in the same spots. You got Bryce Doss, New Palestine at 120 over Colin Troyer.
New Palestine got some pretty solid small guys starting off. 2 champs and a runner-up, 6, 13, 20. All young too. They're all sophomore.
Yeah. Then you had
lots of freshmen.
Then you start the Thrine brothers, you got which is Thailand over Griffin Ingalls 15-7, and Thrain also beat in Jesus Aquino Morales. That's a good win for him. 39-second pin. That's a regional
Yeah.
um,
Um,
regional
he's
match.
really good, and I think that was one of the ones. He wrestled some matches. The match with him last year at Middle School State with
Fargo.
yeah, the little Vargo, that's an eighth grader. That was an awesome match. Those guys were just going for it. The winner had Evan Stanley, um, who is, I think he's an eighth grader this year. He'll be in next year. Um, but that's a huge win for Thrive, still undefeated.
Yeah, that's a real good weight class with Ingalls and Aquino Morales and Thrine, and obviously that's a
Alejandro Ramirez was ranked at some point.
yeah, River Force is there. I didn't even realize that.
This is the first year, yeah.
So yeah, that's a Thrine and Aquino Morales is going to be a ticker. One of those guys will be a rough ticker out match for somebody.
Well, I mean, now you're gonna mix in like a Billerman if he stays at 26.
You got Eagles sitting right there. You got
Yep.
Aiden Reyes sitting
Yep.
there.
Depending on, like, we've heard both that Lavelle might go 30. He's been at 32, but there's talk of him going 26. Like, that could be, Newcastle's trying to do the old we're gonna stack everybody in one weight class.
They're taking after Fort Wayne.
Yeah.
So Justice Thornton at 132 Columbus North over Cameron Volts, Eastern Hancock. You got Bustamante there, and Xavier Roberts from Valpo also. Bishop Chard has some pretty solid kids, especially towards the middle of their lineup.
Underrated Silas Foster, Purdue Polytechnical.
Yes, he beat Gavin Whitehead. Hopefully that is not a serious injury. Whitehead, pretty tough.
Luke Reed, real tough freshman from Valpo, has a win over Chris Bond this year.
Nice. That's it. And then you had Providence Cristo Rey. Dalen Jones was fourth. So good to see Purdue Polytech and Providence Cristo Rey, two newer programs that are having some success, and hopefully they're getting those guys to semi-state and state. Always good to see those programs doing well. You got 145 Brevin Thrine over who's that? Mason Adams
from Western Boone. Asher Ratliff in there.
Yeah. He beat Asher Ratliff. That was a good match.
He had a huge win over Cameron Clark this week too at ECIC Brevin Thrine.
Yeah, they went 3 days in a row. They went they went tough. They went they went ECIC Tuesday, Wednesday, then Thursday, Friday. They went. They got a lot of matches in. Jeez.
LeCounte's right. That is going to be a tough 114 Delta, Greenfield Central, New Pal, Mount Vernon, Yorktown, Newcastle, Pendleton. I think Todd is it Todd at 45? That's who beat Thrine. That's one of his only losses.
I thought Todd was isn't he at 35?
Or
45. He might have been. He might have dropped down. Per what Howie put up, I thought I saw that he dropped down. Let's just see what he did.
Jack Todd.
Yep.
I believe he has a win over Brevin Thrine.
Let's see. He has. Nope, he's up at 45. Maybe. Yeah, he's up at 45.
I heard Thrine might go 38, so it'll be interesting.
So going back to our brackets, at 152 Isaiah Holden over another Purdue Polytech, Cannon Miller. That name name sounds familiar. Did he always wrestle there? He was.
Isaiah Holden, I believe so. I think he's in about 52.
Yeah. So.
Another guy that's wrestling really well.
Yeah, 60. Jeb Pretchell having a real good season over Wyatt Maiden from Newcastle. Both were undefeated in the finals. 170. Clay Guerin, another good Greenfield Central wrestler over Trevor Weekly from Western Boone. Boone beat John Eberhart in the semis. You got, what is that? Braden Tincher from Eastern Hancock over Chris Quarles from Fishers. 195, you had Orland Foster from Connorsville having a pretty good season over where's he at? Sean Glass from New Pal.
Man, New Pal's got some younger guys, a lot of underclassmen.
Yeah, they do. They're going to be pretty solid for the years to come. 220 is Hayden Ball from Triton Central over Tyson Rue from Jasper. That's only his second loss of the year. Levi DeGroat from Connorsville, and who else was there? So 285, you had John Broadwell from.
I see someone posted a picture of him getting his hand raised, said it's sleeper pick.
He looked pretty big. It could be interesting. Beech Grove getting a champ there. He beat Jacob Harker from Shelbyville. So
Tim Long from Richmond's had some good wins, and I know Nathan Paisley from River Forest has had some good wins. I know he had a win over Peyton Kendall, I believe, last year, and then Braden Fleener, Greenfield Central, had some nice wins too.
Yeah, so pretty. I mean, obviously getting 32 teams there, always gonna have some solid matches and stuff. So, it's gonna be. It's nice to be able to have the brackets and not have to, email an athletic director and say, hey, can we kind of get the brackets? So, Al Smith.
You want to do North Montgomery first? North Montgomery was good.
Yeah.
They changed the format. Like, we wrestled in it when we were in school, and it was like, I think just 8 or 9 real tough duels.
Yes.
Now they do like a day of duels. And Rensselaer and Rochester was a really good duel.
Yeah, that's
when I seen the CD come out, I was surprised that Rensselaer was so low after having such a good duel. Rochester, I think Rochester's a solid squad.
Yeah.
I think it came down to it was real close. It was a 3-point duel.
That's what I heard. Where's it at? Rochester and Rensselaer. Yeah, 3-point duel. A few pins. Avery Stanley over Declan Guard. I was thinking it was Grayson Guard. Grayson Guard, Tech Fall, Lars Hughes. Basically, nothing real close. Rensselaer won at 70 by 5. A lot of pins. There. So, yeah, it's pretty good, real good match there. Some bonus points for at 95 and 52 that kind of put them ahead. 2, 3, 7-7 match split. So yeah, that's pretty good match there. And in Rensselaer's they're in 2A, right? So
Stanley got his 100th win there. I thought that was a really solid move. He was up at 38. I've seen someone post like, oh, he's not in the rankings, and it was like he had taken some loss at 38. And he kind of fell out of the East Chicago semi-state rankings, just kind of how it laid. But I think at 26, I think that's a much stronger weight for him.
Yeah.
And then day 2, they do an individual. But some of the guys that wrestled on day 1 weren't in the bracket for day 2, which is weird.
Yeah, I mean, obviously you get banged up sometimes, but Lane Horn he's good. He's real good.
Yep.
Carrington Cooper at 113. Ethan Holloway won at 20. Mason Stanley over Evan Smith at 20.
Swago was third.
Yes.
Swango.
It's pretty solid. Caleb Oliver over Heineman at 132. 38. Elias Mikado. 45. Jack Todd over Jesse Franklin.
Jesse Franklin had a good win over somebody. I believe it was one of the kids from Hamilton Heights, Ferding. So we were trying to do the rankings. I was trying to Fetting. And Jesse Franklin had a win over him.
Nice. Grayson Guard over Chase Carrington at 152. Lars Hughes was third there. So Carrington's back. Carrington's pretty solid.
Yep.
Brant Beck over Gage Galloway. Beck's pretty tough freshman, to say the least.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Carlos Perez Ochepia from Harrison at 170, 82. Colin Wynand from Rochester won there. That's pretty solid. I mean, pretty solid upper weights for Rochester. Probably the Tristan Wilson effect.
Yeah.
Alex Deming over Gabe Hardy. Muncie Central has a pretty good, Hardy's having a pretty good year.
And then Brock Higgins from West Vigo, I think was pretty solid too. Was he a ticket rounder last year?
He might have been. That name sounds familiar. 220, Brady Beck. He's pretty close match with Hastings, 8-6.
Yeah, both of them. I think one was an overtime match in the duel, I believe, and then 8-6 in that match. Jaden Bartowski from Hanover Central, 25-3, sophomore, pretty solid in that way too.
Yeah, and then Titus Walters, good one. Two undefeated wrestlers: Titus Walters, Jordan Cree, 11-4 from Muncie Central. AJ likes his big guys. I think he only coaches the big guys.
I seen they had wrestled 3 days in a row too. Muncie Central, They were saying.
Yeah.
I'm guessing Josh Waters says chasing the smoke.
Yeah.
You guys got maybe that's the representative from Fort Wayne to keep the championship streak alive.
Yeah, we got to win. We got to win at heavyweight. And we're gonna win at heavyweight no matter who we throw out there. So we're gonna have 4 entries, and they're gonna be 1, 2. They're gonna be in the finals. So that's all we want. So yeah. Now, Al Smith. It's a pretty tough tournament.
Yeah. I think, and we were kind of talking about it. I think Steve's done an amazing job of making it tougher. I think right now it might be the toughest it's ever been.
Oh, there's no question. I mean, there's no fluff there anymore. As far as a team that's gonna be able to compete and throw out some good kids. It's doing the seeding meeting. There were we seeded 12 this year, which was a lot easier and a lot less arguing over throwing who. There was a lot of fighting over those 6, 7, and 8s because you knew you were going to be randomly drawn. Now, when you're, you're kind of close and you're like, okay, I'll slip into 9 or 10. I'm fine with that. I'm fine with 11 or 12. That gives me a shot, and I don't draw into returning state champ in the first round.
I think it's really cool that Steve kind of opened the door for that too. Mm-hmm. And I don't know if it was just Steve, but I thought that was a really cool thing. Hey, let's get this right.
Yeah.
We don't need to be here for 2 hours, 3 hours. I heard you guys were out there pretty quick.
About an hour.
Record time, it sounds like.
Yeah, we were about an hour. There were a couple weights where I want to say it was 170. It was really late, and we had 4 guys. We were seeing 9, 10, 11, 12. It's something like that, and had a guy getting ready to get placed, and they're like, "Oh, we beat him." And there's someone. I'm like, and it's then I'm like, okay, what about this guy? And everyone's like, well, we beat him, and it was just a 4-way round robin. I'm like, I'm gonna place one of you guys, and then we're gonna go from there. Because it's all 9 through 12. You guys are separated. You guys are in solid. You're a lot better spots than you would have been last year. So, and then
yeah, I think that part of it's good enough to seed 12. There wasn't a lot of there were some ways where it was man, that's pretty deep. We could have went deeper on that weight, and I mean it's not fair, but there were some really, really tough weight classes where that blood round was. We were talking about it. We talked after the tournament that blood round had a bunch of ticket round level matches that I thought were really good.
Yeah. Oh yeah, definitely. And like you said, there were probably 4 or 5 weights that we could have seeded 16 or 20. I mean, there's no, I doing that. I'm seeing these guys with some good records. 1 or 2 losses, and I'm like, man, I know this kid's pretty tough. I know he's in our semi-state rankings, and I'm like, I'm not gonna be able to seed this kid. Now he's gonna, but it's one of those things that it went real well. The seeding meeting was. There's obviously coaches are fighting for a lot, but at the end of the day, you want to go there and wrestle good competition. You want to see that. You want to get your hands on those guys. It's it's a measuring stick, mid-season measuring stick to see where your kids are. And now you're getting such a good look from all corners of the state that you want to see. One of the things I kind of was looking at when doing the seeding, I kind of wanted to. I didn't want to put a 4-5 as Cathedral, Center Grove usually because they wrestled a week and a half ago. You try to kind of separate the teams that or Mishawaka Penn who've wrestled each other twice in the past couple weeks. So
Yeah.
you want to also see good matches and new matches, and I think the seedings held fairly well. Seedings are not a prediction.
No, I think we talked after the seeding. It was like, hey, like there was several guys where we were very much like, this guy's gonna place higher, but like, how do you? There's no justification for it. And at the end of the day, you have to have. I think that's what the rankings come down to too. Like people always ask, like, oh, like you thought that. Like, no, I didn't think that. Like, I didn't think that at all. I think that like I have to be very conscious of like it's not my opinion versus results.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't get to say, like, well, that kid was sick. I seen him. He was sick that day. I'm not going to change his ranking because he lost. It doesn't really work like that.
Yeah.
And, like, luckily they do this tournament at the end of the year where everyone kind of gets to figure out what they want to be at the end anyways.
Yeah, yes.
But I thought that was really cool that they, like, that we kind of did it a little bit last year. This year was very much more focused in. And I thought that it went really smooth.
Yeah. There were, 8 unseeded guys, which... Obviously, there's a lot of wiggle room when you seed 4 extra. 8 unseeded that placed. A couple of them were, and I'm going through them, and I'm like one was Mikey Robles, and I'm like, yeah, I'd love to seed him. He was on my list of, I kind of tried to once you kind of put guys in tiers, and then you move down, and I'm like, I'd love to seed him, but he's lost some matches that. There are going to be guys over him, and there's a couple others like that, and there are a couple of some
Christian Washington. How do you see the guy like Christian Washington?
Yeah,
I thought it was crazy. He's filled in at 52 when Reinhardt was up, and he'd taken 4 losses at the Carnahan and the Ironman, and he was 3-4 going into the tournament. And I think I texted you. I was like, this guy's going to wreck a lot of brackets.
Yeah,
and he did. He ended up placing it. He did well.
Yeah. And as Jason Leach said, that most of the top 4, and the top 4 are usually fairly, in there in a little bit of a tier. But yeah, it was pretty well. I think, all number ones. I think all number ones made the finals. But that's pretty easy. It's easy to do 1 and 2. We could do 1 and 2 easy.
Dude, at 1 through 10 or 1 through 7 in the state is probably the easiest rankings.
Yeah,
it's like 10 through probably 40. It's like the hardest. It's like, dude, it's like unreal. 38. I was telling you, 38 is one of those weights where I think I got like 45 kids on the watch list, and it's like they're all right there. Like that'd be a weight where I might not get, 10 to state, and it'd be like the other 10 are on the watch list of guys. And I was like, man, I knew that guy was gonna make it. It's there was no way I could put him on.
Yeah. There's always so many spots. Crown Point is good, and they're good top to bottom, and they broke their record from last year with 3 backups in the lineup.
Yeah.
Or actually 2 backups.
2 backups and like a semi backup. I don't believe Rhiannon Murphy's. I mean, I don't know the rules of the IHSA so well, but she wrestled the Midlands this weekend and won it, so I think she's pretty good. Yeah. I don't think she's gonna be in their lineup. But to walk into like a college event and tech your way through, I think it's pretty impressive.
Well, I guess Van Chel, Van Tichel, that's right. He might be their starter. I know they've had some fluctuation at 132. Washington, and then Aiden White.
Yeah.
And you think of where Aiden White was. That's a returning champion in Cody Goodwin. White only scored 4 points. He would have, Reinhardt scored 34 in winning it. Orlando scored, so there's a 25-point boost, basically.
I think Cody maxed out last year, too, right? He pinned everybody through, right?
Yeah, he would have.
And the finals with Weems.
Yeah, I think he would have gotten a few bonus points, too. He likes to pin people. He doesn't. He's not on a. He's not punching in by the hour.
No. Then you got Anthony Ball, who didn't compete, who was a finalist there last year.
Yeah, and he would have been, and Washington, he finished 7th. 45 Ball would have been in the mix for a title there. Either way, that's another 10, 15 points. So that would have been really ugly. So Center Grove 2nd, and then distant 3rd, Cathedral, Mishawaka, Western. Western first time there, really impressive.
Great ad. Yes.
Yes.
I think they were a late ad too.
That's pretty good late ad.
Yeah.
It's interesting to hear, teams are interested in the event, and there's kind of talking, talking off air about what teams that's kind of on that fluctuation of getting on that drop list is like, who do you replace them with? And that's the hard part. Is there's a lot of teams that are in. There's 3 or 4 big events. There's 4 big events in the state, so it's one of those things that you gotta. It'll be interesting to see who gets in.
I just don't. How do you turn it down if that's offered to you? And I'm like, obviously, like we kind of got an idea who turned it down. I'm not gonna like blast anybody on here, but like, how do you turn that down? If you get that call and you're like, hey, we want to put you in probably the most prestigious individual tournament in the state, that's going to give you a measuring stick to where you are to be a medalist.
Mm-hmm.
Like, how do you turn that down?
Yeah, it's unless you're Mater Dei who's hosting an event,
yeah,
or Connersville who's hosting an event, or Mooresville maybe. It's one of those things that I know when I came to Carroll and we were going to Connersville, I asked. I told Scott Raypole, he was the head coach. I said, "Hey, do you want to get in the Alice He's like, "Yeah." It's like, okay, and I sent an email to I want to say Faulkner. I think was kind of in charge-ish. He wasn't the head coach there, but hey, we'd be interested. And he's like, he actually called me like that year, like a week out because somebody dropped out late, and was like, hey, would you guys like to get in? I was like, we'd love to, but we can't right now. But we'll be ready for next year. And he's like, good, okay. But that's one of those things. It's like, yeah, why not? Go ask. And that wasn't when they were actively, just turning over any teams that weren't performing. And
yeah,
it's.
Oh, I think they've done a good job of saying, hey, like, you need to bring a full roster.
Yeah.
Like, we're not going to go here with forfeits. You're not going to bring 6 guys.
Mm-hmm.
And like, when teams are declining it, and good teams are like, you start looking for other teams that got a state, and you start looking for. I know we talked about it. I like, now that we kind of go out and say, I like the in-state factor of it, but also I really enjoy like how good the tournament is and how good the wrestling is. I thought the officials did a good job. I think I didn't see anything that I felt was crazy. I know some people, made some comments, but I actually thought it was pretty well officiated. I thought they did a really good job.
Mm-hmm.
They do. I mean, like, I see those guys a lot too. I mean, like that. I'm never gonna be surprised by the officials I see there because I see those guys all the time. That's like the crew I see. Yeah. Like, that's the officials I see. That's how I think Indiana wrestling's officiated. So when I go to the state finals and some of those guys aren't there, I'm a little bit more critical because that's the style of officiating that we have in northern Indiana, I guess.
Yeah, it's a good set. I mean, one of the things I've commented before is going around the different areas of the state, you see different officials. I think that's almost as good as seeing the different competition because, region area is a little more physical style. They're, the refs let things go a little bit more. They let you punch them in the face 3 times before they warn you.
I thought that was excessive back in the day until I watched those Ohio officials.
Yes. But yeah, and that's one of the things as a coach is you want to get out of this. You want to get out of your comfort zone of seeing the same officials every weekend, and seeing these officials in Michiana area is good because they call stalling a little bit differently. They want a little more aggressive wrestling. Over in the regions, a little more, kind of similar, but then Indy area, even if you get down to Evansville, officials are a little bit different, and you're going to see those officials all throughout the state series.
Yeah, I like whenever one of the Indy teams was giving me a hard time, like I handpicked the officials, and like that they call stalling on my calls. Like, I had nothing to do with that. They're like that's not even stalling. I'm like, hey man, like that's how they call it.
Yeah.
And did I like it? Like, I think it pushes the action. Like, is there sometimes I don't agree with it? Yeah, like obviously, like that's the nature of being an official. Is like you always have 1,000 other officials in there.
Yes.
They just don't, they don't have the whistle. They don't have the guts to kind of go out there and make those tough calls. I have a lot of respect for those guys. I think they've done an amazing job. I think the tournament, the prestige. I mean, Al Smith's there. I think just overall, it's really well done.
Yeah, definitely. And
I think the staff is good.
Yeah, it's one of those things I just look at and I'm like, man, this thing keeps getting tougher and tougher. And you look, the teams that came in this year were
Snyder, Western.
Snyder's been, this is their second or third
Okay.
year.
Okay.
Third year, I think. They had
Oh, yeah.
Western. Warren was back. Portage was back, and I thought there might have been one more. Maybe I'm right. There's three, I think.
I know they sent it to me, like the teams that were in. I could probably go back and look at
I
it.
think those were the three new ones that were in. So, I mean, when you add those three teams, that's pretty impressive. Western was
Well,
fifth, and uh,
and they're gonna bring really good individuals too.
yeah,
You know, I think that you're gonna have some guys that are gonna be, and they're young. Like, I mean, I know I was trying to push Crown Point to invite Snyder to Carnahan because I want to see VZ in those top matches.
yeah, yeah, definitely. That getting some of those teams with those guys like VZ and stuff. That's the key is seeing what teams are young and bringing some teams. It's going to be interesting to see who's on the chopping block and who Steve decides to bring in because. I mean, his goal isn't for Mishawaka. I mean, obviously he wants Mishawaka to win, but he's not. He's not going to dilute the field so that they can win. He's gonna, he's working to make Mishawaka beat a Crown Point or Center Grove.
Well, and I think that's like the big thing is like I think he's very aware that you, and we're gonna talk about it, but I thought the best finals match was 32, and I'm sure Czar Walker he ended up taking a loss there, but. I really do believe that those two guys are going to walk away and be better. Like I think that was a very beneficial match both ways.
Mm-hmm.
Like, yeah, does Czar want to be undefeated? But like Czar is going to go to University of Michigan. Like you're going to go. You want to keep improving. Like you want to find ways to improve your game.
Yeah. And seeing these guys. I mean, that's the thing I look at is you want to get your hands on these guys. These other your opponents that you're going to see down the line, whether it's semi-state or state, or have those common opponents like, hey, we beat this guy, and they just lost to this. They lost to at conference they lost to this guy, or that that guy beat somebody else, and we run into him at state. Now you have a common opponent to kind of work things off of, and maybe even get some film and things like that.
Well, and like obviously, some of the guys were out. I seen Dennis posted here, and Hayden was out, which. It takes away. Like, you want to see those guys compete, but you also want to see those guys be healthy for a strong state run. Kyra Lavelle was out at 32.
Mm-hmm.
We talked about Ball and Goodwin. I think Goodwin was still from Carnahan. I know Ball had some injury. So you want to see, like, those guys compete, but also you want people to be healthy. But, man, it's such a good tournament. They've done a good job. They got, even though my mic wasn't the best, I thought, they got a great guy on the mic. I got to come down for day 2. I was coughing all over the place, but I think the congestion's clearing up. Steve told me he's going to bring me some NyQuil. He kind of bluffed me. He didn't bring me any. It's a really cool event. Like it's a super prestigious event, and they treat it very prestigious. I think the way that it's presented is really cool. And just like we talked about this before, like if they did a Joe Caprino Classic, right? Would you want it to be like a soft thing, or do you want it to be like a really, really hard event? And I think like I was there coaching from the side. Like you can hear at the main table, he's like coaching Mishawaka guys. He's excited. They got to say like Al Dover, the guy, the Penn's first day champ, is singing the national anthem. He does a great job.
Yeah.
Like people always say, like, man, how can you talk in front of all these people? And I'm always thinking like, you couldn't pay me to get up in front of that crowd to sing the national anthem. Like, one, they'd probably deport me because I sing terrible. But he's a really good singer. So I think that's really cool. I just think the way the event's put on is really, really awesome.
Yeah, definitely. And it's well ran. Obviously, it went real pretty smoothly this year. I think it almost seemed like it went a lot faster than it usually goes. And I don't know if
Probably
that was just
coaching.
Yeah. I guess a lot less stress. you know. And I was able to go grab lunch when I wanted, and we took a little bit of break, and did what.
Hang out,
Yeah,
shoot the breeze, talk.
yep. You know, Dane's wife watched Rocco for a little bit. I'm like, hey, I'm just gonna leave him up here. She's like, okay. So, but yeah, brackets. Let's go over the brackets here. Giuliano Ocampo had some grinders.
Yeah.
Overtime match with Salazar that I didn't see most of it, so I came in showing a little bit late, and got towards the end, and there's some interesting calls that are tough calls to make for officials, and she ends up pinning Salazar in the semis, and then beating Mason Jones, who beat Cameron Meyer in the semis.
43 years, first female finalist, 43rd year, first female champ.
Yeah,
pretty good. She's really good.
Yeah, pretty deep weight class overall. I mean, just Connor Bayless from Mount Vernon dropped down to 106. That was a
Take around her last year. That's who Crawl beat.
Yeah, that's a pretty solid move there. I mean, just looking this top to bottom, this is one of those weights that you probably could have seated 20 and still felt like you left 2 or 3 guys off.
Dude, the blood round in that was really good.
Yeah.
I mean, the wrestle, like they always say, like the wrestle back is brutal. You lose that first match, that wrestle back is brutal.
Yeah,
and some of those guys, I think Mikey Robles dropped his first one and wrestled all the way back.
I just know, like, looking, after the first round, I'm looking down, first or two, you see a little bit of an upset, and like, okay, who's he gonna run into in the ticket round? Like, oh crap, yeah, Thrasher and Haney.
2-0. Cameron Woods, Jessup beat him. He had beat Haney a couple times this year.
Yeah.
Chavez.
Knable.
Yeah, and then Sully Frazier. Like that's a really good weight.
Yeah.
Like all those guys are really good.
I mean, those ticket round those blood round matches. I mean, those would have been great semifinal matches.
That's what I said. Like those are like ticket round level matches at the semi-state.
Yeah.
Like a lot of those guys were in the ticket round at the semi-state a year ago.
Yeah. So 113, Gavin Jandres, first action of the year. Looked pretty solid. Beat Charlie LaRocca 5-3. LaRocca.
Yeah, they just didn't. I wanted to ask Bill, like, you guys didn't want to like ease him into this, maybe give him, something like a nice little Wednesday tune-up. Nah, let's just throw him out there to the wolves.
Yes. So yeah, he beat Josh Kite from Mishawaka, having a good season. I believe he's a freshman. Tommy Frazier, Frazier beat Tolbert 1-0 on the front side.
Both state qualifiers, right?
Yeah, and then beat him again. Proved it. Just like you're playing horse, you got to prove it. Yep. Proved it for third. Schmittendorf, Penn was fifth. Seth Auburn returning state qualifier 6th. Temples and Josh Kite again. Some good, like I said, some good ticket round matches. Blood round. I guess you can't call it a ticket round. Right there. Pretty solid. Another, deep weight class.
Yeah, just tough, man. Like that Gendris and LaRocca match really good. But just overall, like you got a handful of guys who state qualifiers, a couple young guys in there. That's gonna be a good weight overall, but that was a good weight there.
Yeah. 120, Ashton Jackson, Tanner Tishner. First off, Tishner got some revenge with on Goss. He took that loss at state kind of personal, it looked like.
I like Tanner Tishner. He wrestles with a little chippiness, right?
Yeah, yes, he
got
does.
A little region. I don't know if they're from the region, but he wrestles like he's from Portage.
Portage South, called Western.
I think I looked over there. I think I seen Coach Acuna behind Shepard. He had a little he wrestled with a little bit of aggression. I liked it though, man. I think that's good.
Well, I guess they wrestled first round of state, went to overtime, and that I'm sure that was burning in his, and majored Goss 9-1. That's pretty impressive.
That finals match was really good. Yeah. I thought he was gonna get Jackson.
Yeah, he was real close to that. He first off, he defended the Merkel, which a lot of people have not figured out with Jackson, and
Western used to be at Maryville Semi-State. I remember.
yeah. So
Nate Stout and Jeb Hunt back in the day.
so yeah, that was probably one of the better finals matches. Jackson over Gavin Bragg in the semis. Dylan Bennett. Evan Bennett.
I thought Dominic Brown wrestled Ashton Jackson pretty tough in the quarters.
Mm-hmm.
Dominic Brown, a tough freshman from Lowell.
Yeah, Brown.
Was it 5-1?
Yeah, Brown had
I think it was 3-1 going to the third period.
Yeah. You just won another deep weight class.
Some really good freshmen in there too.
Yeah.
Sonny Setsa, freshman. Dominic Brown, Carter Fielden.
Let's see who else. Yeah, you Fielden over Maldonado in the blood round there. Sessa over Truex, who has had some pretty solid wins. Gavin Brown or Dominic Brown over Hank Finnessy. It was a 4-3 match, and Brown was pretty dominant. Had some pretty good wins. He lost 3-0 to Goss. And beat
Elijah Brody, Dylan Bennett, 3-2.
Yeah, that was a tough match there. Eli Brody's had a really good season so far.
Yeah, Mata. Even before that, you had Mata over Maldonado, Truex over Owen Bunton.
Yeah,
that was just a solid weight class. Good run there for Sessa too, taking it back to fourth. I think Dylan Bennett's a 2-time state qualifier, ended up 8th there, correct?
Yeah.
2-time?
Yeah, that was he was a 2-time state qualifier. You had guys like Gunnar Sandifer, I want to say Mata, and who else did I see?
Owen Bunton was a semi-state qualifier in that
Truex.
bracket.
They were Bunton and Truex, and they were ticket rounders. I want to say Gunnar Sandifer was.
I think Maldonado was also, right? Did he wrestle Jackson first round? He wrestled Jackson pretty tough at semi-state. He might have been a ticket rounder also.
He might have been. Yeah, he was a ticket rounder too. So there were a couple ticket rounders that didn't get seated there. This is another one that, I'm like I want to say Mata and Button. They've traded losses with like Sessa and stuff, and like Sessa comes in there with like a 3-5 record or something.
Yeah, he left there 9-7, but he had 4 tough losses from probably 2 of the toughest tournaments in the Midwest.
Yeah, so yeah, just a deep weight class. I mean.
And he had wrestled Jackson before that.
Yeah. Yes. 126. Logan Frazier's pretty good.
Yeah. I would say so.
He was in a little bit of a hurry to get done. 3 first period pins and then, or 3 first period pins, 1 second, and then a tech.
I think tech, because the OW, they do the most falls in the least amount of time.
Yes.
So, Logan Frazier probably gonna have a cool video up on his Instagram. Does a lot of videography. I'm trying to get him to come out and do some softball stuff for us.
Nice.
He does a good job, man. If you ever check his stuff out, it's pretty good.
Yeah. And then you had Liam Kruger over Hyatt Yeager from Center Grove. Yeager was one of those guys that has been in and out of their lineup pretty solid. Aiden Campbell from Chesterton. First time I really got to see him. He's tough. What did you say? He was wrestling like 105 last year or something?
Yeah, I thought someone said that he was gonna fit in at possibly 6 at Portage, and then he's at Chesterton at 26. I mean, I don't know how big he is, but he's solid, man. He's real solid.
Yeah,
we dubbed Will Mason the young Nick Weisjohn.
Yeah, yes, Will Mason looks like a young but taller.
Yeah.
Nick, he has just the start of the hair, and he just needs some of that I don't even know what you want to call it, grunge rock or punk rock, whatever it was that Nick made his little highlight video the one year. We need to bust that thing out. Got to hang out with Nick this weekend. Rocco loves Nick.
It's good to see Nick.
The hardest question as a parent, where I was taught, oh yeah, we're gonna go over to Nick's house and stuff. He's like, is Nick a grown up? I'm like, oh boy, that's a tough question.
I think many of women have asked the same thing.
Many people have. I'm sure his mom and dad have asked that. So yeah, I got to see Nick, and Rocco was like, man, afterwards, like, man, Nick, he's pretty cool. He has a lot of video games. Like, well, that's what you get to do when you don't have little kids.
That's like one of the cool things about going there is to see Nick, and obviously, he's a character, man.
Yeah.
I wish I saw him more.
Yeah, definitely. It's always good to get a text with him or even call him on the phone, and because he runs at a high octane all the time. So
Guillermo Rivera, returning state qualifier. Baumgartner, I think he won a tough wrestle off to get in the lineup for Western.
yeah, yeah, he beat Christian. He came in unseeded. Beat Christian, and then he ended up finishing sixth.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's another good weight class. You had Christian over Josh England, Owen Reyes. Aiden did not wrestle. Yeah, just another just deep weight class. Hyatt Yeager ended up finishing third for Center Grove. He's pretty tough and is one of those guys that you knew was pretty good, but didn't have too many credentials to stick for a seed. 132, another exciting finals match. DeMarco.
Dude, that match, the semis was good in that too.
Yeah. DeMarco Maldonado. That was a real good semi. You're right. And then Walker and Harper was a pretty good match until Harper defaulted.
I think he had like a hard double or something, right?
Yeah.
Hopefully he's okay. I know he's. I think he's dealt with some injuries early on, so hopefully he can get back.
Yeah. So that DeMarco Walker match was back and forth, and that's a semi-state finals match, and you throw in Maldonado there too, and Harper. Jeez.
Yeah. And Van Titchell, and there's someone else in that weight for the semi-state that's pretty good, also, I believe.
Yeah, Delgado from Portage.
Tivy.
Yeah.
Hayden Fritz, Caleb Oliver, one Northmont.
Miguel.
Yeah, so not bad. That DeMarco and Walker match is like one of those matches that that's everything you want. Like DeMarco goes up. I believe it. Brett Smith's right. Czar and DeMarco go back and forth. DeMarco's got like one of those things where he can get in those scrambles and land on top, and he's kind of funky. So he goes up big. Czar runs it all the way back. Takes the lead late, and then gives up a reversal to his back to lose, right?
Yeah.
Did they give him back? Did he end up?
I think he got back, so I think he held him there.
So, it was 6-7. There wasn't much time left.
Yeah.
And just kind of got into a scramble and got put to his back, and DeMarco came out. I know DeMarco's been dealing with some injuries, but it's good to see him starting to get healthy.
Yeah.
Another guy, I know he bumped up early on to wrestle
Hoover.
Jeffrey Hyvert. How do you say his name?
Hyvert, I think.
Hyvert.
Yeah.
From New Prairie, who's just been like rolling guys right now.
Yeah.
But that's a good one. Mikey Killamani, David Maldonado in the third place match. I think that they might still be wrestling.
Yeah, that was that match did not lack any physical.
No, those guys were going hard.
Yeah, and not in no dirty way. They were just going. They were going to go hard. They were.
Yeah, it was just like David Maldonado is like, yeah, Brett's right. Like he's thick. He's thick at 132, and he's got a motor, man. Yeah. And Killamani's got a motor too. Like that guy. I think those guys were like, we're done. Like, we can't wrestle anymore.
Yeah. They're like, we can go for 3 hours. Let's go.
Yeah. And then you had the smaller of the twins, Brody Hagwood, in there. Really impressed with those guys. I was impressed with those guys last year leaving Al Smith, too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's, the Maldonado DeMarco match. Maldonado was winning and then got a reversal. DeMarco either got a reversal to his back or reversal.
I think so.
Yeah. He had to his back. He was up, 3-1. I want to say Maldonado was up 3-1, had a cradle locked up and just kind of in a weird, funky position. Probably should have bailed, and then it was one of those positions you're either bailing to your back or you're holding on for dear life. So yeah. But that's going to be a good little rivalry. And that
I think so.
Brutal.
I think it's a little heated right now. Sounds like it's you hear some different chirps back and forth. Yeah. Sounds like it's kind of heated right now, so that always makes it a little bit more exciting.
When they're not exchanging Christmas cards?
Nope.
No Christmas spirit there. 138, Reese Courtney, returning champ. Unfortunately, I tried seeding him first, but since he didn't qualify for state, so But
Yeah, he came out of a monster regional into like a tough semi-state draw.
I heard that
Bryce,
once or twice during that seating meet. I heard that once or twice, I think.
uh, Bryce Denton's a pretty big 138.
Yeah, yeah. Denton had a
Tall.
4-3 win over Evan Cruz. Didn't get the pin like some people did.
I've seen
Don't
that,
want to
man.
mention any names.
And you put it on his results page.
Yes, I'm not taking that off.
I think right off the bat, I know that they said, Bryce Denton's one of the bigger 38s. Michael Ortega, the sophomore from Portage, he's a pretty big 38 too, and he lifts a lot of weights. His old man posted on their Facebook, dude, he's pushing some heavy weight. Like I had send it to my brother because they were wrestling the same club. I was like, dude, this dude's like legit pushing this weight, and the kid's pretty strong too. So I knew right off the bat that would be pretty good. Denton ended up taking that one 9-3.
Yeah, you have Robert Din, Bo Wagner. I'm pretty positive both were released at semi-state first round.
Yeah.
Then the winner gets Devin Whibble, who was a state qualifier a couple years ago. It's just like, geez. That's just another one of those weight classes where it's just like, geez.
Right off the bat, you had Lucas Clement, Mikey Robles.
Yeah, yes, that one too. And that was one of those, like, another one of those you could seed 16-20 and still felt like you left someone out. Max McGinley had a real good tournament.
Dude, amazing tournament. He
Yeah,
wrestled really well.
Yeah, ended up third, beating Cruz 8-2 in the finals. Pretty good. I guess that's Haywood that got banged up a little bit.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's pretty good. Real good weight class. Another one you're looking at the ticket round: Clement, Ortega, Baldwin, Gerst, Robles, and Din.
Cooper Baldwin, I feel like always has really good Osmos too.
Yeah, this is not the first time he is placed there. He always wrestles well there. He likes that mid.
Even before that, like Ortega over Arbery. Arbery had a win over McGinley, overtime match. Gerst over Stuckman. Stuckman's been in the mix. I would believe he's been to semi-state every year, so 3 years. Robles over Lapsley. These are just matches that get to the blood round.
Yeah, Wagner and Arbery, and then just looking through the consolations, it was pretty deep weight class.
Yeah. 38 was like I said, man. 38, you could probably rank 40 guys and be like, wow, those guys are all pretty good.
Yeah. 40.
Which is weird because it's not like you're ducking. It's not like one of those weights where guys are just moving from 45 or 32. It's just kind of where all those guys are at. Because Solome's really good. You're not cutting to get into Cole Solome.
Yeah. 145. Aiden Torres had pretty dominant. Wesley Smith. 4-1 in the semis. The Smith brothers are kind of sneaky good. And
I think they like to fight. Yes. Not on the mat, but they're MMA, I think, trained kids.
Yes.
So I think they're pretty tough. He's good.
Yeah. So is Caden Smith's pretty good too. So yeah, that's pretty good weight class.
Runner-up Ike O'Neill, big fan of the O'Neill family.
Oh yeah, always loved to.
Is Terry in the house?
Yeah, talking to him a little bit. Asked him if he's getting nervous. He's like, "No, I can't be nervous." He's like, "Ike's too much like me. I gotta stay calm." But it's always good to talk to him. He always runs on high energy. So
great dude, man.
Aiden Kiner from Mount Vernon over Graham. That was a good win for him, and then obviously Smith beat Graham, who was a semifinalist 2 years ago. So yeah, that's a really good, another great weight class. Obviously, you had Evan Utsi, who's had a lot of good wins over his career. Christian Washington, comes in.
He came in 3-4.
Yeah.
There's 0% chance if you're walking in there and you're like, I think right off the bat he had someone 20-2. You're probably like, I got this guy under 500.
Yeah. Don't look at the school though.
No, but we have to look at records a little bit, and you're like, man, he was 3-2 to start off. He had Ethan Rodriguez, who was ranked in the semi-state. At that point, he was 19-2.
Yeah. Yeah, that's, I mean, looking at, Graham and Kirksey, Utsi, Rodriguez, Blood Round, Fender, Peacock, Cameron, and Washington, as an overtime injury default. So that's, a lot of just, another deep weight class. Was it Hunter Fender? I believe he's a freshman or sophomore. Had a real good run. Ends up getting 6th for Bloomington South.
Is Hunter Fender related to my favorite name from last year, Tough Fender, also from Bloomington South?
I would bet a little bit of money on that one. He has the less tougher name, I guess.
Yeah, you already gave Tough to the older brother.
Yeah, yeah. So 152, another great weight class. Mitchell Betts and Reinhardt rematch from the consolation rounds at state last year.
What was the score of that last year? Because I feel like Reinhardt, he's one of those guys that I walked away. I was like, man, he got a ton better. I mean, he was really good last year, but I thought he really controlled that match.
Yeah, it was a 2-1 match. So
2-1.
Yeah. So but a lot of young guys in this weight class too. I mean, Betts is a junior. Reinhardt's a sophomore. Gavin Davis a sophomore. Broadbender's a junior. Stitz is what are you, junior? Sophomore. Jeez.
Rowdenbush the sophomore.
Lounsbury was a senior. He got hurt in that Betts match. You had a lot. This is another just deep weight class. Kane Smith's had some good wins. Some really good blood round matches. Rowdenbush, Plott, Miller, Smith. Todd.
Plott's a sophomore.
Yeah. Jason Rooney from Westfield. I think he was a ticker rounder last year, if I'm not mistaken.
Man, I felt like he was at 70 at some point too. Maybe I had him ranked at 70.
Rooney was a just first round semi-state, but yeah, him at 3-2 over Broadbender right there. 6'5", 4-0. There's an injury default also, but at the same time, man, those are some close ticker round matches or blood round matches.
Adrian Pellet took his first 2 losses there too.
Yeah.
That's just a tough weight. I mean, it just speaks to how good the tournament is. Yeah. If you're a coach and you're trying to, prepare your guys to make a deep run at state, aren't you I gotta see where we're at. If you get the call, Coach Sanford texts you and say, hey, we want you here. How do you say, nah, you know what, man, we're gonna take that weekend off?
Yeah, I don't know. That's the thing is,
I understand. I understand. I know Brownsburg was kind of that conversation there at Brecksville. I get that. Brecksville's a cool tournament. That's pretty good. We think that they're in Ohio a little too much. You don't want to start thinking that you're, a Buckeyes fan.
Yeah, I mean,
no, they played football well. They played a good game.
Yeah,
against Georgia.
So yeah, and that it's another tough weight class, top to bottom. Rowderbush ends up finishing 3rd over Stitz. 160, Sam Goen, pretty good at the wrestling stuff also.
Had an injury. They said the day before. Dude, just a great kid, right?
Yeah.
He came over after he got tossed to him and Bill. Bill's pretty funny too. He got rolled through. I think he got reversed, and then I didn't think it was that close to getting pinned. I know the place went nuts.
Yeah.
And I'm watching, he gets out, and I think he kind of gives the okay, relax, and doesn't panic. And I think Bill and Mitch just kind of went what are you gonna do?
Yeah.
And he cuts him, takes him down. I think he ends up pinning Merritt. But if anyone was wondering, Andre Merritt, incredibly dangerous.
Yes.
If you want to go upper body with Andre Merritt, good luck.
Exactly.
Good luck. Let me know what day you're going to do that, because I want to watch that. Yeah. Because he's really good.
You better wear a helmet. He's going to drop you on your... And that, I mean, in Gowen's defense, I think it was late. I think that he might have only got too near fall. It was within 7-8 seconds left, so he didn't have to fight. If it would have been with a minute left, there would have been some problem. I think it was fair. I think he had him fairly tight, but it was just not enough time to sealed it up, and
I do believe that Bill told me, he's like, yeah, that was pretty exciting, huh? I'm like, yeah. He's like, not as exciting when Kuntz hit that headlock on Jesse. Not as tight as that. Bro, I always tell everybody, we saw, one, I always thought this was crazy, that they were like hanging out the night afterwards.
Yeah.
And, dude, I remember Jesse had like a bruise on the back of his neck from when like Kuntz almost ripped his head off.
Yes.
And he was like, bro, and I remember Jesse looked at me, he was like, it was so tight.
Yes. Yeah. That was crazy. Yeah. That was and that was a tight headlock. That was a real tight headlock. But
yeah. Andre Merritt, really exciting. Like he's gonna bring an exciting style of wrestling. That's a guy you'd want to pay to watch compete.
He had every other match. He pinned he 33 seconds, minute 47 over a real good Chase Wagner, 258 over Schaefer from Chesterton, and then Russell from Warren Central. 44 seconds. Then he was ready to go home. Only 44 seconds there. So yeah.
Yeah. He's not getting paid by the hour, folks.
No. So yeah. Then on the bottom half, Chase Leach over Bisping, 10-9. Leach was in the ahead for a while, then Bisping kind of chipped away.
That's what Bisping does, man. Yeah. That was a good match. That guy's got an extra set of lungs, I think. I think he has 4 lungs. Yeah. Sometimes I think he puts himself in like too deep of a hole, but he definitely will work back. He's another guy that could probably wrestle for a good amount of time. Chase Leach is really good.
Yeah. Yeah, Leach looked real good. And Leach has a pretty good gas tank. I've seen it firsthand a few times. And it's one of those annoying type gas tanks where he doesn't stop, and it's like, dude, relax.
He's really good. I mean, this is a really good weight. Chase Wagner is really good. Ben Schaefer, a really good run. I thought him cutting down from 70 was a really good move for them. Kenneth Bisping's return state qualifier. Leach, 2-time state qualifier. Deegan Pleak, I thought that was a guy. I know he was on the watch list. Yeah. This will probably get him into the. I had to look. I try to like line it all up and then take all the numbers off before I start putting her up. So I haven't got to 170 yet. I'm through about 38, I believe 38 or 45.
Mm-hmm. You got going through some of the blood round matches. Pleak over Watts, 7-5. Watts, really tough wrestler. DNP'd and even to get to the blood round, he had beat who was it? Marquise Young from South Bend Riley, who's pretty tough in overtime. And before that, who's CRLH? Jeez,
that's Carol, right?
Oh, Carol, yes.
Fort Wayne Carol, CRLH.
Fort Wayne. That was
Carol, Florida, man.
Yeah. Okay, that's a weird abbreviation. Usually, you see the car. He had a 4-0 win there. I mean, that's just another, one of those weight classes. Pretty tough overall, but
yeah, Wagner over Cameron Crisp also came down a weight class.
Yeah,
I believe Cameron Crisp wrestled some 182 last year.
Jeez. Going down 170. Another person that is not getting paid by the hour.
No,
is Delaney Roman.
Who did Delaney Roman not? Did he have that like one? I remember like 1 year, Drew Hughes didn't get the OW because he had like a forfeit. So like they do like the most falls in the least amount of time. So like if you have 4 falls, but you have a forfeit, you don't get the 5 falls.
Yeah, that was I know it was when Hughes and Streck wanted to get it so bad because he liked to pin people, and he got someone defaulted to him in one like the first or second round. So then he just tried to tech his guy in the finals just because he was bored because he knew he couldn't get it. And I want to say Drew got it, but I think Drew didn't get it because he got a forfeit first round. But the way Steve's doing it now, you won't have to worry about that.
No, forfeits are going to be non-existent. And if you bring forfeits, you will be replaced.
Yes. So find someone. Find a warm body or a cold body. Doesn't really matter, I don't think.
No, Delaney Roman pinned Noah Klauser. I thought Noah Klauser had wrestled him tough earlier this year too.
Yeah, he did. I would say that was a close match.
Those guys lift a lot of weights, man. Yeah. Whoever's training the Romans to lift weights, whether it's their dad or a personal trainer, they're doing something right. Those guys are they get really big and strong.
Yeah, I think he is. He doesn't look. I mean, his brother looks pretty jacked, but he doesn't look
He
jacked.
was also 40 pounds heavier than him.
Yes, 50, almost, yeah, 50 pounds. He's a 220-pounder, and he doesn't look jacked, but you can tell he is strong. Just the way he just throws people around.
Yeah, Klauser and Roman was 4-0 when they wrestled earlier this year.
Wow, that's pretty impressive. And then Holyfield did, or not Evander's son Zymarian, only 9'2", Roman. So that's pretty impressive because Roman's.
This is a good weight, man.
Yeah.
Costello.
Yeah.
Costello is also one of those guys. He makes it a match, man. He's pretty exciting. He's pretty aggressive. They had a nice article about him in the Post Tribune today.
Yeah.
I didn't get to read it. I don't pay for the Post Tribune.
Jeez.
But he's pretty tough, man. He had some exciting matches. Him and Klauser was really good in the semis. You're gonna definitely know you wrestled a match when you're done wrestling them.
Yeah.
I'll say that.
Yeah. Yes. This was this is probably the premier weight. I mean, when you're looking at it, 8-9 seeds are battling it out. There were state qualifiers. This was one of the worst ones to seed, and I don't know if I could recite how I went through my progression, but I think everyone fell fairly well.
I didn't even click on it. He said it wasn't behind the paywall. I didn't even click on it. I just see the Post Tribune. I said, I'm not going to see that.
Nice.
I already paid for the Times.
So, yeah.
Well, go check out the article, man. It sounds like it's for free.
Yes. We'll have to. Nice.
Yeah, no, I thought overall this weight was really good. And I thought it was a deep weight. Even in the blood round, you have Manalo Hood, who was, I believe, a regional champ last year at 45. Ticket rounder, Duke Myers, 7'6". Kyle Harden, injury default over Logan Surdich, who's really tough. Kyle Harden, a really good freshman. We're hearing some rumors about some wings.
Yes, there are rumors that wings will be there Saturday, and that's the only reason I'm going to Brownsburg. I don't care if there's wrestling going on.
Gavin Malone, who had a win over Duke Myers this year, lost an ultimate tiebreaker to Anthony Cashman. Valdez and Friedline. I believe Friedline beat Valdez earlier in the tournament, right? That's who put him in the losers bracket right off the bat.
No, Friedline beat Malone. Friedline beat Malone.
Okay.
Cashman took out Valdez. Yeah, and you look at like Duke Myers, who's tough as nails, finishes higher at state than he did here. He was 7th.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's just a brutal weight class. You got like 5 or 6 guys with state level experience, and you got Noah Klauser, who lost to what's his name?
Bowman.
No. He lost. Who did he lose to in the ticket round from Modern Day?
Bowman, right?
Oh yes, Bauman.
Yeah.
Okay, yes. Lost to him. Then you got Malone, who had beaten Myers, and you had Harden, who's beaten 2 of the state qualifiers. It was just, I mean, you had Harden versus Hood in the second round. I mean, it was a tough
good weight.
Yeah.
It's a really good weight class.
Pretty fun to watch and not have any stress about, and just see how it fared. And I think,
and it's pretty well spread out. You have 2. This was like one of the cool things. I wish I would have said it on the mic, but it sounds like only half the gym would have got to hear it. Every semi-state was represented. Like you had especially in this way, you have 2 from Evansville. You have a couple from Indy. You have Warren Central, Indianapolis Cathedral. You have a couple from East Chicago, and you have Fort Wayne in there.
Yeah.
Like every semi-state's represented there. Like that might be. I mean, you'd have to look at it. Like that could be. I mean, obviously, throw Goodwin in the mix if he's wrestling. Like you could have every semi-state champ represented there.
Yeah, and that's something you tend to forget about is throwing Goodwin in this mix. Ooh, that's even. I mean, you're just gonna push everyone down a seed, and then, man, that's gonna be brutal.
Yeah, I think I want to see Aiden Costello and Cody Goodwin. Is Hobart and Cook's in here? I want to see, is Hobart and Crown Point doing this Friday night duel? Because those guys like to wrestle physical.
I believe so, because I was double
That might be
checking.
one of those like, we're gonna, falls count anywhere. We're gonna have to double up the mat, bigger mat, so we can keep them off the hardwood.
Bring in the
Those
extra
guys
side
are
mats.
pretty physical wrestlers.
Yeah. I think they wrestle in 2 weeks, because I was double checking. I was like, I thought the Mount Carmel and Crown Point match was a week later, and last year, and it was, and this year it's a week earlier. So it's creeping up on my Cubs convention time, but it'll be worth it.
Double up, just go Cubs convention right to.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. We're going. We're doubling up that weekend. So. Only twice a week. Nice. So yeah, just real good matches, top to bottom. This was a weight class that was going to be fun to watch, and just see how it shook out. And there's some good wrestlers there. 182, another good weight class. VZ,
another family that likes to lift weights too. Whoever, if the Romans and Panolas are training with the same trainer, we need to know.
Yes. Yeah. Luke Panola, he reminds me of a little bit like of Roman. He doesn't look physically intimidating, but you can just tell he is strong.
Dude got some shoulders on him, man. He's pretty thick.
Yeah. Well, he
got some heavy hands too. Like.
Yeah. Yeah, he's pretty tough. I mean, this was just another deep weight class. Cruz and VZ were top 2 seeds, fairly easily met in the finals. Cruz, he just got like a little bit of a go behind. Not very, not as exciting as I was anticipating. I was hoping there'd be some fireworks. I thought, I think they both kind of just didn't want to make a mistake. 2
nationally ranked wrestlers. 1 and 2 in the state. There's only 1 and 2 in the state. Cruz looked pretty smooth. I thought he got some good attacks in there too. I thought there was some he could have finished. VZ's really good.
Yeah.
That'd be good if they can kind of run that one back again.
Yeah.
I thought VZ kind of, and I like Cruz a lot. He's a really nice kid, but I thought VZ kind of did him up in freestyle pretty well. I thought that was a tech fall, right?
He might have been. I mean, VZ's real good at the international styles.
Yeah, I know. I had to read that like chapter book that he wrote down of Pan American Championships, and it was stressful.
Yeah, at state last year, he beat VZ beat Anthony White, and then 6-2 over Cruz.
6-2, so it wasn't as bad as I thought.
And then beat 5-2 over Luke Panola. So still pretty impressive there. It's just another deep weight class. Michael Durham over Caden Lone in the quarterfinals. Weems and Panola was a good match for a little bit. Panola.
I think that Panola, like Caden Lone match, that was like a real physical match too.
Yeah.
Like I was watching that and I was thinking like, man, I was surprised. Like it was real physical. Like I said, Panola real heavy with the hands. Caden Lone's really tough. Just a tough weight. Weems ended up defaulting out. Hopefully he's okay.
Yeah. Jackson Walters from Warsaw had a pretty solid tournament. I watched him a couple times.
I believe he's a ticket rounder too, right?
Yeah. He's pretty solid. Had a pretty good tournament. I believe Jeremy Scales. I believe that was like an overtime match a couple weeks ago. And in the blood round, he ended up just pinning him. McCrum from Plymouth, a pretty solid wrestler. He's had some solid wins. Lone obviously got beat a little bit earlier over Zimmerman 7-4. Just another deep weight class. And you have a guy that finished 7th at state last year, and he's finishing 5th. That tells you how deep this weight is.
I mean, Weems is I know we said it last year, and when everyone didn't want to see them, Weems is a penny machine. Outside of that Panola match, and then he ended up defaulting, but he went 30 seconds, 49 seconds, 39 seconds, and then he got pinned in minute 51 in that Walters match.
Yeah.
But I mean, you have 2 guys in that I mean, not to say that those other guys, but man, Weems and 160, the Merritt, those guys are getting some quick falls.
Yeah.
And when those quick falls, those are huge momentum shifts in duels.
Yeah, definitely. 195. This was probably one of the weights that wasn't as deep as some of the other ones, but still some good wrestling here. Christian Chavez, Mishawaka, overtime match over McConnell. That was a real good match.
McConnell got big too, man. I thought he was he might have been a 70 last year too. Where you got to fit in that room, right?
Yeah. McConnell came in as the 6th seed, beat Anthony White, and then beat James Veal.
I believe that's a tough one to seed though, because McConnell, I don't think he does. You can't be like, well, he's really good, because everyone, well, my kid's really good too.
Yeah.
I don't think he's been in the lineup a ton. I think he might start at 32 also.
Yeah, he wrestled 60 last year at the MIC. So yeah, he's been kind of small for a while.
That was a good match overtime. I thought it was what was it, a stalling to set it to OT?
Yeah.
I thought that was a call. I didn't.
Yeah, it was Chavez kind of was putting on the skates, and it was the right call. I mean, everyone knew it was coming, and and the coaches were saying, you gotta circle, and he didn't, and got dinged, and then
Wes Liv in the house too.
What'd you say?
Wes Liv in the house.
Yeah,
Wes Liberty.
We got Cal Hatch coming back to his roots, recruiting. That's where Chavez is going, but yeah, another solid weight class there.
It wasn't locked hands. 2 officials on the mat. That was a really good call.
Yeah, that's what it was.
As soon as it happened, that was was it you and me right there?
Yeah.
Because I remember I was like, that's a locked hands, and then they had it on the secondary official had it.
Yep. Yeah, that's good to have. I mean, I want to say I know the refs who were in there, but it was just the main ref was on the other side, but I think he just stayed there because he knew the other ref would have seen anything that's coming up.
Yeah.
So that was good positioning by the ref. I mean, they saw it, and even Fabian said, "Yeah, that was pretty blatant." He's like, we weren't going to get away with that one. So.
And it was tied up and went to overtime. Exciting match. Yeah. That was good.
220. Will Clark over, another deep weight class, obviously, over Tommy Morrill in the finals, 11-3. Morrill had an overtime match over Devin Kendricks. He got the rematch of Nate Johnson and Jackson Weigert. And I left before that match, I left when they were had to go to the bathroom, and it's like, oh, it's not gonna last that long. And Weingart was winning, and then Johnson pinned him, I think. So
Tommy Morrill got some great long hair, huh?
Yes, I'm jealous.
keep it while you can, young man. Keep it while you can.
Yeah, and you had Keegan Martin ran it back to third. He wrestles well at Al Smith also.
Yeah, he really does.
Yeah, he beat.
I believe was Weigart and Devin Kendricks the semi-state championship match last year. Because as I was watching, I was like, I believe that this was. I thought they wrestled at semi-state. I thought it was a semi-state championship match.
And they do not have that on there.
Let's see. And it was in the Consies. Let's see where we're at here.
I do not see the semi-state from Panola. Let's go there. Oh man, all these guys don't have it. The Newcastle semi-state is not linked.
They're embarrassed by their semi-state, man.
Yeah. I'm just trying to find someone from the semi-state and have it linked, and no one from Newcastle. Reinhardt was there in the Newcastle semi-state. Is he linked? Yes. Results. Jeez. 220. Weingart and Kendricks.
That was in the consolation semis.
Yeah.
At the Al Smith was the semi-state championship match.
Yes.
At Newcastle, where Weingart also won. And I talked with Cameron to see if they made any adjustments. I think Kendricks kind of got beat up a little bit in that match. And I know he had to take some injury time. I think. I mean, he's tough, man. Super 32 placer, right?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, this is a deep. Then obviously Martin, who's had, he's thrown his name in the mix in a pretty tough weight class in Fort Wayne, and he's pretty tough, and that's going to be interesting to see how that shakes out. But yeah, Clark over Johnson. I think that was a default.
My guy Joe Stanley pulling guys out the hallway, getting to come back. Caleb Abad. They said his dad wrestled at University of Wisconsin.
Oh wow, that's nice.
He said, "We got this guy, man. He wrestled, and we're trying to get him back out." And his dad was pretty good. And I was like, "Yeah." He's like, "He wrestled at University of Wisconsin." I was like, "What?" He's just hanging out at the school.
Yeah. He has some results in there from 2012. So he, as a bantam, placed 4th at the. He wrestled for regions, so yeah, that's pretty nice. He had a pretty solid tournament. Ended up getting 7th. Like I said, like any of the other weight classes, some really good blood round matches. Martin finished 4th year last year, ends up losing to Kendricks in the quarters.
Not a bad career choice.
I mean, the top 8. I mean, the quarterfinals were just crazy good matches there. Clark and Abad, Johnson, Weingart. I mean, that was they've wrestled multiple times. Kendricks, Martin, Johnson, Greg Johnson from Warren Central.
A lot of Greg Johnsons, and we're gonna start having to say you can't name if your name is Johnson, you can't name your name Greg.
Yes, yeah.
There's too many in the database.
Yeah, I know.
And Jacob Jones, you can't make Jacob Jones or Greg Johnson.
There's 2 Jackson Todds too. There's one Jack and one Jackson. They actually wrestled at Folkestone State one year in the blood round.
So you can't say you didn't hear him call your name.
Yeah, yes. 285. Christian Carroll was in the house.
He was in the house.
He did not participate in the wrestling, unfortunately. I heard some rumors that some people were egging him on a little bit. I won't mention names, but he may or may not coach for a team in the greater Bago Township. Paul Clark over Anthony Popey.
Popey, the heavyweight horse.
Yes. Yeah,
he put it on his finalist sheet. I didn't say it though, guys.
Yeah,
he got a good mustache too.
Yes, he did.
He's good, man. He's sneaky good. Plymouth got some really good guys.
Yeah.
Smith is doing a good job. They have a handful of guys that are pretty good over there.
Yeah. Popey, he had a good tournament. He beat Jellison, who's a returning state medalist. He beat Schott.
He's pretty big. Jellison's a lot. He's pretty tall too.
Yeah. And Schott, who beat Jose Smith. Kendall over Dodson, got a little bit of revenge. That was one Dodson from Snyder had beaten Kendall earlier in the year.
I think last week, right?
Yeah, last week, yeah.
And the Henry Wilk.
Yeah.
Tyler Schott, I heard he squats a lot of weight, and then I seen him and I was like, yeah, that looks like a guy that could probably squat a lot of weight.
Yes. Yeah. And then Jose Smith got revenge. He's got 2 out of 3 over Schott now. So he has seeding criteria. They've wrestled 3 times already.
But also another match in the consolation, Jellison and Smith wrestled last year at state in a medal round, right?
Yeah, I want to say for 5th. I think it was a rematch for the 5th place match, if I am not mistaken. And I am not mistaken. I am correct. That was in to go for either to get into the top 6. So Jellison's another one, finished worse at the Al Smith than he did at state last year. And it's by no fault of it. I mean, he didn't
just a good weight.
Yeah, he just to get there. Eli Smith, Zionsville, 3-2 ultimate tiebreaker. McMahon from Center Grove, 3-1 lost to Smith. Paris Green over Machete from Portage, and then Trevi Conley Smith over Dodson. There's some good matches in that blood round.
Man, I'd always said it after Iron Man. But man, the Clarks are getting so good. Like they went from like kind of like I remember thinking like, oh, these guys are probably like the weaker spot on the team when they were freshmen to like absolute hammers, right?
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. This was especially for heavyweight, this was a deep weight class. I was just looking at like where Eli Smith, he beat Chevy Conley first round, then lost ultimate tiebreaker to Shot, who was third, and then ends up losing in the blood round to Jellison in ultimate tiebreaker. So that's just.
He was bleeding a lot too. They had to like trip. Man, I felt so bad. I wanted to be like, come on, guys. The trainer that was like taping Paul Clark, and Paul Clark's tall. She was pretty short. Like she's on her tiptoes trying to like tape around his head and tape this way. And I'm thinking like, you guys can't bend down and help her out.
Paul Clark likes to bleed, I think.
I don't know if anyone likes to bleed, but
if there's one person, it might be Paul Clark. It's not. I don't think it counts as a match for him. I don't think it counts on his record unless there's blood.
No. Man, and they said that there's like a set of triplets that are coming up too. That like the dad's a bigger dude. Obviously, Will and Paul are big dudes. They got like another 200-pound brother that's like a triplet coming up. Like, I was like, man, I just went to the grocery store tonight, and now I'm telling you, I don't know if I could pay for groceries for all those guys.
Have there ever been twins that won the Al Smith?
Well, Gibson's, right?
Yeah, Gibsons were there. I assume they probably did. I'm just the recent twins. I do not believe so. Let's see.
Did the Gibsons both win it? I think that would be the only thing. I know that they were both there.
Yeah, that would be the most recent ones I could think of. 2017, Connor got fourth. It would have been maybe 2016. Al Smith, Connor won it. Let's see. Gibson, Triana, 26. Connor won at 32. Nope, not either of their last 2 years, so that would have been their best.
Yeah, might be though. I mean, I wasn't there for all 43, but those are two pretty tough twins.
Yeah, and they're gonna be in position to win it again next year.
Yeah, I would think so.
Yeah. So yeah, it just
that might be something to look at. You know who would know? He's the co-host of the Hager Hershey.
Who might be getting some services from the Haggard, Hershey, and Zelt funeral home soon, from what I've gathered.
Man, Dane. I mean, anytime there's an Al Smith question, I always ask Dane.
Yeah.
But I would be willing to bet, like, if there hasn't been a lot. But I don't.
Yeah.
I mean, that would have been my only guess. Would have been the Gibsons. I couldn't think of another one.
Yeah, at least from recent people. So, that's a long recap, and it's getting late, but we still got more to go talk about.
You wanna go again on Thursday?
We can do it on Thursday.
We can talk about the team state reveal and all the fun that's gonna be.
Yeah, we can. Let's do that. Give ourselves an hour and a half, 3 hours, whatever.
We could talk about how Chesterton's running out 3 weights at a Big Ten school at the Midlands.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Pretty amazing.
Yeah,
how often does that happen?
Yeah. How often does a high school have 3 Big Ten starters? Period. Whether it's one school or not.
Yeah.
That's pretty impressive. So yeah, we'll just go to Thursday, and since it is 12 o'clock, and we'll talk Team State. We'll get a whole full episode of Team State. That's no issue. So
yeah.
Thursday, Penn has an invite, right? Oh yes, Penn does have an. They have an invite to Team State. I guess that's what you're meaning, but yes.
Yeah, so that'd be exciting. Get some Team State talk in. Maybe a little predictions. I usually try to retire from the predictions.
Yeah, we have some. I mean, we can show what we have. Got a nice
little preview.
A little preview of what we'll talk about. We got some of our key matches, and we'll put down our a little bit of predictions, just kind of where we think the stronger points are. Brownsburg, Center Grove, obviously a potential match there. Crown Point. Below that we have, gotta go scroll here. Crown Point, Brownsburg. A lot of good matches. I know. Give you guys a little bit of a preview. Some of the rosters are in, which putting them at whatever weights doesn't always mean they're going to wrestle those weights. I believe it's a pretty easy import from what I have done in the past. So, but Hockaday is listed at 113. I believe he's certified at 13.
I think we had Hockaday there at the beginning of the year too.
Yeah, I believe he's certified at 13, or at least not like making scratch weight 13, but certified to wrestle there, at least from what I've gathered.
I think they've done that in the past. Who did they do that with before? They had someone make a scratch weight and like kind of just wrestle there for. Someone did that before and just wrestled for state, and it ended up working out for them. They made some moves.
You know what, Gunnar Henry did it last year. Henry did. I mean,
yeah.
All of a sudden, we saw him down at 182. It was like, whoa, what's going on here? Which was a good move for him. So that could be an interesting. You could, already kind of. I saw that today, and I'm like, ooh, we might have a state finals rematch. That could be, a little shift that Brownsburg has a little bit of some movable parts, which can,
I think I posted it. Like Brownsburg, Crown Point, and Carmel are hoarding a bunch of 32 pounders for some reason.
Yeah, 26, 32 pound. I'd like to see them just roll out a JV, 3 or 4 JV matches between their 32 pounders.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. I think Crown Point probably has four guys on the ranking sheet that are 32. Yeah. I know Brownsburg has like 3 guys. I think Carmel has 3 guys.
Yeah. Let's just have this. We could have a JV state championship at 132 here. Right, you got all the teams, and there's about 4 or 5 guys that could take home state medals if they wanted.
I think it'll be interesting to see kind of some of the movable parts, and I guess we can kind of touch on that on Thursday. Especially 4A is good, 3A is really deep. Just kind of, we were wrapping up at 11. I was trying to kind of look at some of the seeding. 2A, you kind of got some 2A preview, right?
Yeah.
And then
2A.
And then 1A, the top 4. That'd be exciting. Champs got 4. I don't know if they're forfeiting 2As or not. I think I asked it on the board. I didn't go on the board today. I'm not gonna lie. See if they answered. But giving up 12 in those duels is tough.
Yeah, and even at the 1A level, which is, obviously those teams aren't going to do as well at the higher levels, but still giving up 12 in a duel is...
I think the 1A, the top of the 1A is good, man. I really do think that, Rochester is a team that has some really strong individuals.
Mm-hmm.
And then Tell City just wrestled Mater Dei.
Yeah. You put Rochester at the Al Smith. I know they've been there in the past and stuff, and it would have been interesting to see where they would have fallen with a Center Grove, with a Mishawaka, with a Cathedral, because they had the horses to score a lot of points.
Oh yeah, that'd have been interesting. I'm surprised, especially a team that had been in there before that they weren't.
Yeah, and I know they've been in it for a while. They were in it for a long time. Got out for a couple years. They were in it just a couple years ago. I want to say they were in it fairly recently.
Cook came back. They said they didn't want to be with Cook. That's the rumor I heard.
Yeah. So
unnamed sources.
So that's what we'll go Thursday night, because we don't have anything else to do. But yeah, there's some good matches. I'm excited for Team State. We'll both be at Brownsburg, and gonna be most likely brought probably on the mic to broadcast the finals match at least. I assume that's probably. I don't really want to do too many more, because I know Mike will want to mingle and talk to his legions of fans.
It was a lot tougher when I had to jump up the stage real fast and, talk to people and jump back on and announce some names.
Yeah.
But I definitely love, hanging out and seeing everybody, and especially in those big events, it's really cool.
Yeah, it's nice to, there's a lot of people around there, and obviously you had something to do, but it's good to see it. It's just so many coaches, so many people, and it was good to talk to people in a relaxed atmosphere. And there's a lot of, Al Smith, tough as nails, and excited for just a lot of good tournaments. I think even, all the tournaments have seemed to up their level this year. Mooresville
Oh
got
yeah.
full 32 teams, and I think they're gonna start looking to increase the depth there. So there's gonna be some turf wars with these tournaments. So who's the 7 and 8 seeds? The seeds are on. Actually, I didn't even put them in that article. I will put them in there.
Did you tweet them? I know they were tweeted out, right?
Yeah,
You had
they're
them on.
tweeted out. We do have an article that has everything, that has all of the information, times, and everything. I will put the brackets on there right now, so that we can see what they look like. Brackets are right there. So I will put those in there. I will upload those pictures and do that real quick. But yeah, you can go. There's an article on the website called
7 seed and 4A Cathedral, 8 seed Penn. Man, 4A is tough, man.
Yeah,
They're all tough. It's a cool event. Like, hopefully, if it's your first time going, all the classes do an amazing job. It's really cool. It's just a really cool event overall.
Yeah, definitely, and it's grown so much, and even texting with Greg this week a little bit, asking him annoying questions, and just how receptive they are to input and suggestions, and how much they've modified it. I wasn't a big fan of increasing the numbers. I wasn't really the biggest fan of them increasing the classes, but it's worked out, and sometimes you sit back and say, yeah, that was a good idea. And I think it's just grown especially from when I saw some of the initial emails between the Coaches Association people, and it was one of those things that I was looking at. I'm like, man, this is not gonna do well. This is not gonna do well. And the number one, the Coach Association has adopted, but also the coaches themselves take a lot of pride in the 1A, 2A, 3A levels. In the event, they have shirts made up. They really promote that at their schools and use it as a tool to increase wrestling. And that's one of those things that I see. It's great for wrestling to see Cascade getting better and went from 7-8 kids to 35, because
I think that's what they said about WinniMac also. Like, WinniMac's a program that really grew from it.
Yeah, and they take the schools take so much pride in that, and a lot of those guys, especially at the 1A level, they're not. There's 12 teams there. They might not get 20 state qualifiers out of all those teams. There's some good teams there, some really good individuals, but 20 kids out of those 12 teams, there's still 200 kids there that participate on those teams. Now they're going to experience something really cool, and they might not go to state, but they get to experience a team state and be a part of that kind of stuff. So it's really cool to see how it's grown and how they integrate that within their programs and stuff. So shout out to the coaches more than anything, that they really promote it and really take it under their wing. That they it's neat to see at the schools how much pride they take in this event, and they get the signs outside their they treat it like a state level event, and their schools treat it like a straight state level event. They get banners, they put a sign at you go into Decatur and you'll see the sign, it'll say 2021 or 22 2A state champions. That's pretty sweet, and you taking that pride in that stuff is pretty neat to see. So Team State is a state. Indiana is a state. But my rant is over. Good rant. Anything else before we'll go over Team State stuff and go over that Thursday?
Coach Cook was right. It's not behind a paywall. I read half the article. It's pretty good. Good article, man.
I'll have to check it out. I hope there's some comments from Joe Hansen. If not, are there any comments from Joe Hansen? Because
I haven't got the Joe Hansen comment. I think I think there's a snub there. I seen some Frankie Porras comments and some Jason Cook comments on here.
No Johansson?
Nope.
What? Cook put the reins on Johansson finally, or what?
I don't like that.
Did he finally press the mute button on Johansson?
I once saw a movie where they said no one put the baby in the corner. You know.
Johansson's not someone you get fired up. So we're gonna have to do a deep dive on that. I want to know why Johansson doesn't get some quotes in the article.
I know. Well, it does say that maybe Johansson's not wrestling with him. It does say Porras. Porras did get the Purdue credit, and he said he does wrestle him every day. So
Johansson tried to fight Melvin. Jeez. Man, ever since he got that sleeve tattoo, he's thought he's tough.
Oh man, hey, there's no thinking about it.
When they do that sleeve tattoo, they inject a little bit extra toughness ink.
He got offered two biker gangs when he got that thing.
Nice.
I'm just happy we're keeping him in the sport of wrestling.
Nice. Oh goodness, poor Zach. He's gonna hate me even worse. So, okay, well, we're gonna get out of here. We will be back Thursday, talking more wrestling, talking Team State, and deep diving into all the brackets and all the fun matches. So, we'll see you Thursday.